Welcome to Save Us from Hell, a podcast about the United Nations. I'm your co-host, Mark Leon Goldberg. I'm a longtime journalist who's covered the United Nations for about 20 years. And today I'm a loaded hot dog.
And I'm Anjali Dayal. I'm an associate professor of international relations at Fordham University in New York. I teach and do research and write about the UN. And coming up on 20 years now, I dress as a cat for Halloween.
This is my second year in a row as a fully loaded hot dog. I got all the trimmings. I got relish. I got mustard. It's tasty. So if you're just listening to us right now, just close your eyes and imagine me as a hot dog. And imagine Anjali as a cat, and that's about where we are right now. Because it's Halloween.
Right. That's right.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. It's also Diwali, the festival of lights across the Indian subcontinent, where we celebrate the victory of good over evil, which is particularly fitting given that Halloween is also notably a big UNICEF day.
So we're just going to devote our first segment here free to everyone to watch. If you want to see me look ridiculous, please visit our YouTube page. But we're going to devote the next few minutes to talking about a Halloween tradition, trick or treat for UNICEF. It's a fascinating cultural icon now, part of Halloween since 1950. It was invented by a school librarian named Mary Emma Allison, who thought that why not try to raise money for children around the world as children are dressed up going trick-or-treating. So in addition to collecting candy, maybe they can knock on some doors and collect a few pennies as well. Now, it turns out Mary Emma Allison and her husband was a Presbyterian preacher, and so the idea just caught on like wildfire. By the early 1960s, like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars were being raised for UNICEF by trick-or-treaters. And it pierced like cultural barriers as well.
There's a terrific Bewitched episode called, I think, Samantha Haunts a Millionaire, where she, through the course of the episode, tries to get Millionaire to donate a ton of money to UNICEF.
I'm not leaving until I get a direct answer to a direct question. Are you going to make good on that pledge?
No.
You don't have to be that direct.
Samantha Stevens, of course, classical witch, right? And so there's a perfect synergy of Halloween and multilateral organizations right there.
So UNICEF won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965. And upon UNICEF winning the Nobel Peace Prize in 1965, the president at the time, Lyndon Johnson, declared October 31st UNICEF Day. So ever since then, at least here in the United States, there's always been this kind of deep connection between Halloween and UNICEF, both for the trick or treat for UNICEF, but also UNICEF does like a big fundraiser around this time of year as well. So happy UNICEF Day to everyone. Happy Halloween to everyone.
And if you've got those little orange boxes, I did as a kid, I remember that pretty clearly, then I hope that you get a ton of change in them for UNICEF alongside your candy this evening.
And it's just cool how, in 1950, a school librarian in Philadelphia could have come up an idea just whole cloth. And here we are 74 years later, and it's a thing. Fascinating.
It is a thing. That's right. It's a really interesting like cultural synergy, right? Especially because October 24th is UN Day, right? So the whole of the UN has sort of like a late mid-fall energy to it, which we get to celebrate in the harvest season.
All right. So I feel like I should take my ridiculous costume off and we can move on to more serious and dire things. So, dear listener, just wait a moment.